Right, everybody. Let's dive into something I think we all think about, you know, uh, aging.
Yeah.
I mean, like, who hasn't looked in the mirror one day and been like, oh my gosh, where'd that come from?
Right.
But we're going deeper than like, creams and potions and stuff like that. Today, we are talking about how our diet affects the way our skin ages.
It's so interesting how we tend to focus on the external when so much of the aging process happens from the inside out, right? What we put into our bodies really impacts how we age and how our skin looks.
Yeah, and for this deep dive, we have two really interesting sources.
Oh, cool.
One is a YouTube interview with Dr. Tony Youn.
Mhm.
He's a plastic surgeon, but he's kind of like a holistic guy. He's
Right.
got a ton of experience and some really interesting insights. And then also we've got a proposed podcast script that talks about the same topic.
Okay.
So it's kind of cool. We get like a behind-the-scenes look.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, to see like how this information gets presented.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dr. Youn, he dropped this statistic that kind of like blew my mind. He said that we lose about 1% of our skin's collagen thickness every year.
Wow.
And then after menopause, it jumps to 2%. So like no wonder things start to like head south.
Yeah, that's a pretty good visual for what happens to our skin as we age. And this is why collagen is so important for our skin. It's like that scaffolding that gives our skin structure. And when we lose it, things start to sag and wrinkle, and we lose that elasticity.
Okay, so we know about the wrinkles, but like what is actually causing this collagen breakdown? Is it just like a natural part of aging?
Well, genetics does play a role.
Okay.
But Dr. Youn says that lifestyle and environment account for like 80% of visible aging.
Oh, wow.
And he breaks it down into what he calls the 4 horsemen of skin aging.
Oh, okay. The four horsemen sounds ominous. I'm a little bit scared here.
Yeah.
Lay it on me. What are they and how do they affect our skin?
So we already talked about collagen depletion. That's like the first horseman.
Right.
But then there's also inflammation, oxidation, and then the buildup of cellular waste. So think of it like these 4 horsemen are kind of working together to slowly break down your skin's defenses.
So like a four-pronged attack on our youthful complexion.
Right.
Okay, but let's break it down.
Yeah.
Inflammation is like a big buzzword these days.
Yeah.
What's the connection to aging and like what can we do about it?
Well, Dr. Youn points to sugar as a major culprit when it comes to inflammation. It actually deforms the collagen fibers, making them less effective at supporting the skin.
Oh.
So it's like if you imagine the scaffolding being bent,
Okay.
that leads to sagging and wrinkles.
Ugh, sugar.
Right?
It's in everything.
It is.
So are we talking like pancake soda, the obvious stuff?
Yes, but it's not just about those obvious sugary treats. It's also about hidden sugars that lurk in a lot of processed foods and drinks.
Oh, right.
And then also refined carbs like white bread pasta. They quickly convert to sugar in the body and trigger that same inflammatory cascade.
Okay, so cutting back on sugar processed foods. Got it. What about the other horsemen? Like how do oxidation and cellular waste buildup affect our skin?
So think of oxidation like rust forming on a car, free radicals from things like pollution, sun exposure, and even just the normal metabolic processes in our bodies. They can damage our cells, and this damage accumulates over time, leading to wrinkles, age spots, a dull complexion.
So it's like our cells are under constant attack from these free radicals.
Yeah.
And then there's the buildup of cellular waste. Is that
Yeah.
like our body's garbage disposal getting clogged?
Exactly. As we age, our cells become less efficient at getting rid of those waste products, and this buildup further contributes to inflammation, and it slows down cell renewal, making our skin look tired and less vibrant.
Oh, that does not sound good.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got this army of horsemen working against us, but is there anything we can do to fight back? Are we all just destined to look like old saddles by the time we hit 40?
No, not at all. Remember, 80% of visible aging is in our control. And that's where the exciting part comes in. Dr. Youn offers some real strategies for combating these aging villains.
Okay, all ears laid on me. What's the secret weapon? Tell me there's a magic potion.
Well, there's no magic potion, but Dr. Youn emphasizes that food can be incredibly powerful medicine when it comes to skin health.
Okay.
He lays out a whole arsenal of anti-aging all-stars.
Okay, I love it. Anti-aging all-star. So who makes the team?
So think vibrant, colorful foods like berries.
Okay.
Bursting with antioxidants. They help to neutralize those free radicals, protecting our cells from damage. And then you've got avocados full of healthy fats that keep our skin supple and moisturized.
Berries, avocados. I can get on board with that. What else?
Fatty fish, like salmon and mackerel, they are packed with omega-3 fatty acids. And these aren't just any omega-3s. These are like the superstars EPA and DHA,
Okay.
which have been shown to reduce inflammation and protect against sun damage.
I did not know there were different types of omega-3s.
There are.
Okay, salmon for dinner tonight? What about leafy greens? I know those are good for you, but how do they help our skin?
Leafy greens are nutritional powerhouses. They're loaded with vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and they also have specific compounds that can actually stimulate collagen production, so they help to reinforce that skin scaffolding.
Okay, so spinach, kale, all that good stuff.
Yes.
Anything else we should be loading up on?
Don't forget nuts and seeds. They're packed with nutrients like zinc and selenium, which protect our skin from UV damage.
Okay.
And they're also a good source of vitamin E, another powerful antioxidant.
All right, so this is starting to sound like my grocery list for a skin glow-up. But I have to ask, are there any foods we should avoid, aside from the obvious sugar overload?
Yeah, along with sugar and refined carbs, Dr. Youn says we should limit alcohol,
Okay.
as it dehydrates the skin and can contribute to inflammation. Fried foods are another culprit, loaded with unhealthy fats that can damage our cells. And while caffeine in moderation is fine, excessive amounts can interfere with sleep, which is essential for skin repair.
Interesting. I'm definitely guilty of the caffeine overload. So if we swap out the bad guys for these skin superstars, how quickly can we expect to see, like, actual results?
Well, this is where it gets really encouraging.
Yeah.
Dr. Youn says people who clean up their diets often notice a difference in their skin in just 2 to 4 weeks.
Whoa.
Less puffiness, fewer breakouts, a more radiant complexion overall.
2 to 4 weeks. That's amazing. I am ready to ditch the sugar and stock up on the salmon right now.
It's a great reminder that we have more control over our health and how we age than we often realize, and sometimes the simplest changes can make a huge difference.
Absolutely. And speaking of simple changes, Dr. Youn brought up another really fascinating concept for anti-aging. It's called autophagy. And it's like giving your cells a deep clean.
Oh, wow.
And the best part is it involves something we all do every day, eating, or rather not eating.
Intrigued, we'll delve into that fascinating world of autophagy in part 2 of this deep dive. You won't want to miss it.
All right, everybody, stay tuned.
Welcome back to our deep dive into anti-aging. Last time we were talking about those 4 horsemen of skin aging.
Right. We learned about all those like villains that are working against us.
And we uncovered some powerful food allies to help us combat those wrinkles and sagging.
And I was really excited to hear about how quickly people see results.
Yeah.
Like when they make those changes to their diet, dish the sugar and processed stuff, and embrace those anti-aging all-stars.
Right. And remember we were starting to talk about autophagy?
Oh, yeah, autophagy.
Which is like hitting the reset button on aging.
Okay, so remind me again, like, what is autophagy?
So it's a natural process that happens in our bodies all the time.
Okay.
It's basically our cells' way of recycling and cleaning house. When we restrict our food intake for a certain period, our bodies switch into this cleanup mode
Okay.
and start breaking down old and damaged cell components and essentially turning them into fuel.
So it's like our cells are like doing some spring cleaning, getting rid of all the junk that's been building up and making them function less efficiently.
Right. And this process isn't just about keeping things tidy. It's linked to a whole range of anti-aging benefits.
Oh, wow.
From reducing inflammation to boosting cognitive function and even promoting longevity.
That sounds amazing. But how do we actually trigger this autophagy magic? Like, are we talking about starving ourselves? Because I'm not sure I'm ready to give up food entirely.
You don't have to go to extremes.
Okay, good.
Dr. Youn recommends a really approachable method called intermittent fasting. It's not about what you eat, but when you eat.
Okay, intermittent fasting, I've heard of that. Is it like skipping meals?
It can be as simple as extending the period overnight when you're already not eating.
Okay.
Dr. Youn suggests a 16-hour fasting window twice a week.
16 hours?
Which might sound daunting, but it's really just pushing back breakfast and having your first meal around noon.
So if I finish dinner at like 8 p.m., I wouldn't eat again until noon the next day.
Exactly.
Okay, honestly, that's doable.
It is. It's about finding a pattern that fits your lifestyle and making it sustainable.
Right.
And the beauty of it is it doesn't involve complicated calorie counting or restrictive food lists.
Okay.
It's more about just giving your body a break from constantly digesting.
That makes sense. But I do have a question. I tend to get really hangry if I don't eat regularly. How do people deal with, like, those hunger pangs during the fasting window?
That's a common concern, but most people find that the hunger subsides once they get past the initial adjustment period.
Okay.
Staying hydrated with water or herbal tea or even black coffee can help curb cravings.
Okay.
And then focusing on those nutrient-dense meals when you do eat
Right.
will keep you feeling fuller for longer.
Okay, that's good to know. But I think it's important to mention, we always say consult with your doctor before trying something like fasting. Are there any specific groups of people who shouldn't try this?
Absolutely. It's crucial to talk to your doctor, especially if you have any underlying health conditions.
Okay.
Or if you are pregnant or breastfeeding or taking medications, fasting isn't a one-size-fits-all solution.
Right. Safety first. Okay. So we've covered the amazing potential of food to fight aging,
Yeah.
both in terms of what we eat and when we eat.
Right.
Now, I'm kind of curious about the other side of the coin.
Yeah.
How does the media shape the way we think about aging and diet?
Yeah.
We have that proposed podcast script as our second source.
Right.
Let's take a look at that.
Yeah, let's compare what we've learned from Dr. Youn with how this topic is presented in a more, for a wider audience.
Okay, the first thing I noticed is the title, The Anti-Aging Diet. What to Eat for Youthful Skin. It's really catchy.
It is.
It definitely makes you want to click and listen.
Yeah, and that's the point, right? To pique your interest and promise a solution.
Right.
It plays into that human desire to slow down or reverse the aging process.
It's marketing, right? We see it everywhere.
Absolutely.
Especially in the world of health and beauty.
Yeah. But it's important to be aware of that language and to approach those promises with a healthy dose of skepticism.
Right. Okay, so let's move beyond the title and dive into the content. Does the script align with what we've learned from Dr. Youn, or does it take a different approach?
Well, the script follows a pretty standard format for a health and wellness podcast.
Okay.
It starts with an introduction, introduces a guest expert, and then breaks down the topic into segments, each focusing on a specific aspect of the anti-aging diet.
Okay, that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
What about the content itself? Does it echo Dr. Youn's recommendations about those anti-aging all-star foods?
It does. The script emphasizes the importance of consuming lots of fruits and vegetables.
Okay.
Particularly those rich in antioxidants like berries, leafy greens, and colorful peppers.
Right.
It also highlights the benefits of healthy fats from sources like avocados, nuts, and fatty fish.
So far, so good. Sounds like it's on the right track.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, how does it handle the bad guys? Those foods that accelerate aging.
The script takes a similar approach to Dr. Youn, cautioning listeners about the detrimental effects of sugar-processed foods, excessive alcohol, and unhealthy fats. It even uses some vivid language referring to these foods as skin saboteurs.
Skin saboteurs, I love that.
Right.
It definitely paints a clear picture of the damage they can do. But does the script go beyond just food? Does it talk about those other lifestyle factors that influence aging, like sleep, stress, sun exposure?
It does, in fact. It dedicates a significant portion to emphasizing the importance of these lifestyle factors.
Good.
It stresses the need for 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep per night for optimal skin repair.
Okay.
And it even mentions how chronic stress can show up on our faces in the form of wrinkles and breakouts, which I thought was interesting.
It's that mind-body connection, right?
Exactly.
We can't separate our physical health from our mental and emotional well-being. It all plays a role.
Absolutely. And of course, the script also hammers home the importance of daily sunscreen use, emphasizing its role in protecting the skin from those damaging UV rays that accelerate aging.
So it sounds like the script covers a lot of the same ground as Dr. Youn,
It does.
advocating for that holistic approach to anti-aging.
Right.
That goes beyond just diet. But I'm curious, are there any areas where the script diverges from Dr. Youn's perspective?
One area where the script takes a slightly different approach is in its emphasis on supplements.
Okay.
It recommends several supplements for boosting skin health, including collagen peptides, vitamin C, omega-3 fish oil, and hyaluronic acid.
Supplements are definitely a hot topic in the world of anti-aging. Some people swear by them, others are skeptical. What's Dr. Youn's take on using supplements for skin health?
That's a great question, and one we'll explore in detail in the final part of our deep dive.
Okay.
We'll delve into the science behind these popular supplements, examining the potential benefits and risks, and helping you decide if they're right for you.
All right, everybody, stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into anti-aging. It has been fascinating.
It really has.
I feel like I've learned so much.
Me too.
And now we're tackling a topic that always seems to generate a lot of buzz: supplements.
Yes.
That proposed podcast script we've been analyzing is really big on supplements for anti-aging.
Right.
Collagen peptides, vitamin C omega-3s, hyaluronic acid. It's like a whole shopping list for a younger-looking you.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in all the hype, especially when you see those before and after pictures and glowing testimonials.
Oh, yeah.
But as with anything in the world of health and wellness, it's crucial to kind of look beyond the marketing and understand the science.
Right, exactly. So let's break it down one supplement at a time.
Okay.
First up, collagen peptides. They're everywhere these days,
They are.
promising to smooth wrinkles, plump up skin, even strengthen hair and nails. But do they actually live up to the hype?
Well, the research on collagen supplements is actually pretty promising. There have been numerous studies showing that taking collagen peptides can improve skin elasticity and hydration, and even reduce the appearance of wrinkles.
Okay, that's encouraging.
Mhm.
But how does it work? Is it as simple as ingesting collagen and like having it magically rebuild our skin?
Well, it's a bit more nuanced than that. When we consume collagen peptides, our bodies break them down into amino acids,
Okay.
which are the building blocks of protein. And those amino acids then circulate throughout our system, and some of them may be used to synthesize new collagen in our skin.
So it's like giving our body the raw materials to boost its own collagen production.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. What about vitamin C? The script also talked about that as an anti-aging essential.
Vitamin C is crucial for collagen synthesis.
Okay.
It acts as a cofactor in the process, helping to stabilize the collagen molecules and make them stronger.
Right.
It's also a powerful antioxidant, so it protects our skin from damage caused by free radicals, which we talked about earlier, contribute to aging.
Right, those pesky free radicals. So vitamin C is a two-for-one deal boosting collagen production and shielding it from damage.
Mhm.
No wonder it's like a skincare superstar.
Mm.
Okay, what about omega-3 fish oil? How does that fit into the anti-aging puzzle?
So omega-3 fatty acids, particularly EPA and DHA found in fatty fish, have potent anti-inflammatory properties.
Okay.
Remember how we talked about inflammation being one of the four horsemen of skin aging?
Right.
Well, omega-3s can help calm that inflammation, reducing redness and promoting a healthier complexion.
Okay.
They also help to maintain the integrity of cell membranes, which is essential for keeping our skin cells functioning optimally.
So omega-3s are like the peacekeepers of our skin, calming things down,
Mhm.
keeping everything running smoothly. And last but not least, there's hyaluronic acid, which the script claims can lock in moisture and give us that like coveted, plump, dewy look.
So hyaluronic acid is a naturally occurring substance in our bodies that acts like a sponge. It holds up to 1,000 times its weight in water.
Whoa.
It's found in our skin joints and eyes and plays a key role in maintaining hydration and lubrication as we age. Our hyaluronic acid levels decline, which contributes to dryness and wrinkles.
Okay, so supplementing with hyaluronic acid is like giving our skin a big drink of water.
Exactly, and studies have shown that taking hyaluronic acid supplements can improve skin hydration, reduce wrinkle depth, and increase skin elasticity.
Okay, so we've got collagen for structure, vitamin C for production and protection,
Yeah.
omega-3s for calming things down,
Yeah.
and hyaluronic acid for hydration. It sounds like a pretty solid anti-aging lineup. But before we all rush out to stock up on supplements, I think it's important to address the elephant in the room. Are there any downsides, any risks we should be aware of?
That's a great question, and that's where things get a little tricky. Supplements aren't regulated by the FDA in the same way that medications are.
Right.
So the quality and efficacy can vary widely. It's crucial to choose reputable brands that have been third-party tested for purity and potency.
So we need to be savvy consumers and do our research. What about potential side effects or interactions with medications?
Yeah, that's another important consideration. While many supplements are generally safe, they can interact with certain medications or cause side effects in some individuals. For example, high doses of vitamin C can cause gastrointestinal upset, and omega-3 supplements can thin the blood, which could be an issue for people taking blood thinners.
Right. So always best to err on the side of caution.
Yes.
And I think it's also worth reiterating a point that we made earlier. Supplements should never be seen as a replacement for a healthy diet and lifestyle.
Absolutely.
They can complement a healthy foundation, but they can't undo the damage caused by poor choices.
Right. It's about taking that holistic approach to aging,
Right.
nourishing our bodies with whole foods, managing stress, prioritizing sleep, protecting our skin from the sun. These are the cornerstones of healthy aging.
Absolutely. And it's about being informed and making choices that align with our individual needs and goals. Supplements can be a valuable tool, but they're not a magic bullet.
Exactly. There's no quick fix for aging. It's a natural process, and the goal isn't to stop it altogether, but to age gracefully and healthfully.
I love that perspective. It's about embracing the journey, not fighting against it. And speaking of embracing the journey, I think we've reached the end of our deep dive.
We have.
We've covered so much: the signs of aging, the power of nutrition, the role of lifestyle, and even the influence of the media.
Yeah, it's been really eye-opening.
It really has.
Yeah.
So to wrap things up, what's your biggest takeaway from this deep dive? What's the one thing you hope our listeners will remember?
For me, it's the reminder that we have more control over how we age than we often realize. It's not about striving for these unrealistic standards of youth,
Right.
but about making choices that support our overall health and well-being both inside and out.
Beautifully said. And for me, it's the importance of staying curious and continuing to learn to world. The world of health and wellness is constantly evolving. There's always something new to discover. So keep asking questions, keep seeking knowledge, and keep embracing the adventure of aging gracefully.
Well said.
That's a wrap on our deep dive into anti-aging.
It is.
We hope you've enjoyed the journey as much as we have. Until next time, keep seeking knowledge and keep living your best life.